I am part of the youth. We're a resilient force with a lot of ambitions. We are just like you, but we live our lives with a lot more conditions. We're a crowd of people who have been raised with a World Wide Web to connect us all, but we are the generations that have never felt so alone. Our questions go unanswered, our thoughts are brushed aside, and our feelings are belittled when we're branded as an oversensitive or snowflake generation. Snowflake. Are part of nature that is so sensitive and fragile that once it's held, it fades away. We are a snowflake generation. We need to finally feel the love from our society so we do not fade away. Instead, we feel and see hate. And we are hurt. Just in the past year, we watched our planet catch fire and our eyes melt away. We saw people lose their homes they could never even afford. We watched our hospitals burst at the seams, the youth evacuated from schools. We witnessed riots and fists in the air, tears of pain and sorrow. We met death, stared it in the eyes and vowed that we would never want to meet it so vulnerably again. But what can young people do? You see, the problem that young people face is not having the power to create a better world. A world that is without humanity's biggest problem, hate. Our world is like an evergreen tree. It's full of beauty, nourishment, and inhabitants. It is flawed with scratches on its edges, imperfections around its hedges, but it's a place that a lot of people call home. Our planet should be our haven. But unfortunately, because of hate, we seem to turn the most beautiful things ugly as we refuse to unite and work together. Our planet is drying while the people are crying out for change. I represent a population that wants to make a difference. We want to make the rules so we don't always have to break them. We want to provide care for the generations that raised us and the generations that we will then raise. We want to be selfless. We want to let our planet breathe a sigh of relief instead of constantly having to choke on human waste. We want a world that cares about all types of people, a world that cares about all types of health, mental and physical health. We need it. But unfortunately, young people today are powerless. We seem to live in a world that only values people when they pay tax. Our intellectual abilities seem worthless. The degrees and masters we are told to attain, our education feels useless. Dissertations that leave us feeling deserted. We are told to write and create many papers, but the world only seems to value the paper that most of us do not hold, money. Instead, our generation wants to create a world of true equality for all. The previous year highlighted all the social problems that the youth are lobbying to change. How can we all unite if we are focused on hate? How can we end any issue if we do not work together? How can we, as the youth, contribute to a society that is insistent on diminishing other people based on their ignorant perceptions of them? I myself, as you can probably tell, know the feeling of being excluded or hated for things that are out of my control. And I, as the member of the youth, would hope that no one feels like that again. You're probably thinking, what can I do to make a difference? How can I help? How? I'll tell you how. We need to empower the youth. We're a highly educated and informed body. We need to give our youth more platforms to discuss legislative issues in Ireland. We need more media coverage on these issues that the youth care about, and we need to make these platforms more consequential in the running of our state. It should be mandatory at this point to have regular conferences in each area that are for the youth to hold some sort of political debate, so the youth can speak up about issues that they actually care about, like housing, or climate change, or human rights, social media, or body image. It is the lack of facilities that make the youth feel invisible. If we had venues for this, then politicians would know exactly what the youth want and how exactly they would like it to be done. Remember, this is not a lecture meant to degrade the older generations. The good in what we have, we owe to them. We are just saying, listen. Listen to your children, your grandchildren, your niece or nephew, your young neighbour or student. Listen to the children you hold closest to your heart. Even with all our money, we cannot afford to hate any longer. The world, our evergreen tree, it is for all of us. And all of us must work together for our world to survive.